Back in 1990, former Megadeth guitarist Jeff Young had the chance to audition for one of rock's most famous frontmen, David Lee Roth. But instead of jumping at the opportunity, Jeff turned it down. And now, more than 30 years later, he says he's proud of that decision. In his own words, Roth is, quote, a lunatic. In a recent interview with The Metal Voice, Jeff shared that his manager at the time was connected to David Lee Roth's team. Through that connection, he was offered the chance to join Roth's solo band, but Jeff didn't go through with it. Instead, the role went to his friend Jason Becker, who later became known not only for his talent, but also for his brave fight with ALS. Jeff said, Jason Becker got the gig, which I'm glad because that gave him a chance to do one really killer project before he got sick. He was a buddy of mine. But Jeff's reasons for turning down the gig went beyond friendship. He admitted that he simply didn't like David Lee Roth's voice. He also predicted that Roth would end up in Las Vegas one day. And, as Jeff pointed out with a laugh, that's exactly what happened. He joked, I might have ESP or something. But then came the stronger words. Jeff said he later realized that David Lee Roth was nuts. He called him a lunatic and said turning down that offer was one of the best choices he ever made. Now that might sound harsh, but Roth has always been known for his wild personality, flashy style, and over-the-top ideas. In fact, Roth himself has told some pretty crazy stories. He once revealed that his solo album, Eat 'Em and Smile, was originally planned as a soundtrack for a movie he was writing called Crazy from the Heat. It was supposed to include dancing, car chases, bikinis, and more, all in one big musical action comedy. The film was never made, but Roth was clearly dreaming big. He even told guitarist Steve Vai and bassist Billy Sheehan to write songs that could stand on their own, but also work like scenes in a movie. It was like The Who's Tommy, but louder, faster, and much weirder. Of course, Roth has always been a bit unpredictable. Some people see him as a genius entertainer. Others, like Jeff Young, see something closer to chaos. Even Alex Van Halen, in his recent memoir, Brothers, addressed the wild image Roth had. He defended the band's famous "no brown M&Ms" rule and said it wasn't just diva behavior, it was a test. If the venue ignored that part of the contract, it probably ignored the important stuff too. David Lee Roth told the same story in his autobiography and said brown M&Ms meant something serious. Line check the entire production, guaranteed you'll find an error. So maybe Roth isn't as crazy as he seems, or maybe he's just the kind of crazy that only works in rock and roll. In the end, Jeff Young stuck to his instincts and went his own way. Today, he's making music again with former Megadeth bassist David Ellefson in a new band called Kings of Thrash. They even have a live album and DVD coming out soon. And as for David Lee Roth, well, he did end up in Vegas after all.